Hi Scorpio, and welcome to your May 2019 general reading. I'm going to pull you a card before I shuffle the deck. So you got the Here and Now card, very much like the Fool card, the Here and Now. It's about not going into the endless stories of the future, which creates anxiety, or being too much in the past, which tends to cause an awful lot of regret and remorse. So the Here and Now card is very much, as it says, being in the present moment, Scorpio. The only actual place where happiness can exist is when we feel carefree and very connected to what's happening in the present, like being very earthy. So I'm sure we'll find out in a little bit of time what that Here and Now applies to. So give me a minute and I'll shuffle the deck. So please give me clear cut messages for the sign of Scorpio, please. So what's going on? King of Pentacles behind you. So a lot of that's funny, the King and the Queen. I think it was Taurus that got that as well, which is exactly your opposite. This is about two people who want the same thing, by the way. It's always the same when the King and Queen of the same energy show up, but definitely a lot of focus on your material world. But very much the earth energy is very much to do with our stability, the soil that our feet stand on. And because there's a King and a Queen, there looks like there's been a great maturing of some ideas around your career, your finances, that sort of thing. So let me have a look. What you most want is a Six of Pentacles. The Gift is the Fool card, which is the same card, by the way. Very beautiful. Very exciting new possibilities and ventures opening up for you. The challenge is the Three of Cups, and I think the Three of Cups is a challenge because there's so much focus on this King and Queen. So maybe not enough time to fly free, okay? Queen of Cups in your relationship. So you might be called on to be ultra compassionate to someone, to walk forward and offer your cup, because it's right under the Six of Pentacles, which is a card of mutuality and reciprocity. Four of Swords in your money and work. So maybe you've been exhausted here, by the way, because the Four comes after the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords isn't only about, I mean, sometimes it's about heartache, but it can be about belief systems. And maybe you've had to do an awful lot of overcoming fears because the Moon card is showing up in your soul position. King of Wands here as the outcome, and then the King of Cups. And then I'm going to pull one more card for you, the Ace of Pentacles. Very beautiful. You know what stood out immediately to me? Two Kings and Queens and a King and Queen of Cups as well. So there's an awful lot of feelings going on potentially between two people. Even though this is very practical focus, there's an emotional focus, and the King of Wands tends to be a very passionate individual, okay? But the Queen of Wands hasn't showed up, which is interesting. But the King of Wands is this looking right across here. So the Queen of Cups, in a strange way, is offering her cup to the King of Wands. Anyhow, so what you most want is the Six of Pentacles can be about receiving financial support, by the way. Very traditionally, it's about that. But it's a card about reciprocity and connection. And maybe there's a little bit of out of balance in your relationships. And I think there probably is because of the Three of Cups as a challenge. And because of that King and Queen behind you, there's a feeling that an awful lot of your energy has been going into what sustains you. And almost becoming a master of it. rather than being light-hearted, and maybe this is why the scales have become a little bit imbalanced in your relationship. The good news is the Fool is the gift card. So the Fool is about exciting new avenues, exciting new possibilities, very much the road less travel card. And what is going to happen with this Fool, it's going to bring balance back to your relationships, because something has got out of balance here. And really, because it's a Pentacle card, what really needs to happen is authentic dialogue. People need to get real with each other, because all the Earth cards represent that sort of salt of the earth sort of quality. So I think what you need to have, Scorpio, is some fun here and some adventure in order to bring the lightheartedness and the balance back to a situation. Now, this could be to do with relationships, it could be to do with finances, how you feel in general. Something has got a little bit out of balance, and I'm pretty much sure it's to do with not spending enough time just being light-hearted. Tell me more about the Three of Cups as a challenge. Yeah, look. Exactly what I felt with the Here and Now card. So, again, you know, there's times in our life where we're all in the Ten of Wands, every single one of us. We don't escape it. And I think with these cards, there's a feeling that you've been very much there. And it's created a little bit of an imbalance, and something's, especially around the energy of joy. So tell me more about the Fool card as the gift, please. It's with the Wheel. So if I was you and I had these two cards as the gift, I'd be doing as many adventurous things as I possibly can. And the Wheel of Fortune's about the clock. So do not feel, it's about carving little bits of time in your day where you can have this expression of freedom. And I think particularly, I cannot help thinking the focus is on the relationship energy. But it might be financially, you're waiting for a loan, you're waiting on some sort of finances to come your way. They'll come your way with these cards, I guarantee you they will. So it looks like something's been brought back to balance, and I'm hoping the Ten of Wands can start to be dropped and you can move into this energy of lightness, okay? Because the Fool card is it's a 0 and it carries no past on it. So it very much turns up in the day, and it lives life in a very spontaneous, very free-spirited way. The Queen of Cups is in your relationship house, so this might be someone coming forward, offering her cup to you, or you might be going forward, offering your cup to someone else. But by the looks of it, it's being offered to this King of Wands or a King of Cups, because there's two people here, okay? They could be the one person, very passionate, but an awful lot of deep feelings. So tell me what the Queen of Cups is doing. Yeah, Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups steps forward and begins to, so if there's been a rift in a relationship, the Queen of Cups would step forward to try and mend it. And both of these cards step forward, see? The Page is a little bit more about a new relationship, by the way, and the Queen is a very, very, it's a relationship that's already long-standing. But they both have the same energy in this deck of offering and not waiting. But I'm going to leave this a minute because I'm fascinated with what happens here. So money and work, you've got the Four of Swords, which means I think you're exhausted, by the way. And it's because of these energies. Anything more on money and work for Scorpio, please? The High Priestess. Yeah, the Ace of Cups. Whatever's happening, everything's going to be okay when the Ace of Cups shows up. As a feeling, the Ace of Cups. Now, I call it the good karma card. It's a thing that, as a certain degree, I don't really believe in, because good things lead to bad things and bad things lead to good things. But there's such a thing as it's called adorable karma, yeah? And it's basically just incredibly good vibes, and you've got it coming your way. So if you're in the Four of Swords because you're exhausted, and you clearly are with these energies, there's sort of a message that there's a protection around you. Because I class the Ace of Cups as a protection card, because the image tells a story. If you look at the astrological energy and the eye of the divine, shining its energy through your heart, which is your body. So very, very, very good here. Some of you might be meeting someone at work. There's no way around it. You might even work with someone that you love. There's definitely very lovely energy around this. At a soul level, you've got the Moon card, which is again, why is the Moon card showing up at soul level, please? Okay, give me a minute. Why is the Moon card showing up at soul level? This is about uncertainty. It's with the Five of Cups. So don't worry, by the way. I think what's happening here is really clear. I think the King and Queen of Pentacles, both fantastic cards, but when a lot of energy is going there, it's not being given to other areas of your life, okay? And that's what the Three of Cups with the Ten of Wands are. Clear as night that carrying these 10 wands has led to a heaviness of heart. And the Moon and the Five of Cups in a soul position with the Four of Swords and money and work would point to me that there's a part of you, because there's nothing wrong in your relationships, by the way. There's a part of you that's very tired. And when we get very tired, we quite often can fall into I'm trying to get the right word, and an image came to my mind about when I'm really tired and I feel vulnerable. I start going over past things, and I start thinking of things that didn't work out and why they didn't work out. But really what's going on is I tend to be feeling very tired and maybe a little bit vulnerable and a little bit overexposed. So that's almost a breeding ground for the Five of Cups. Because there's no endings here, but there's just a challenge, a possibility that there's so many obligations on you that you've lost sight of a little bit of joy and a lot of your energy. When that happens, we can go into a lot of exhaustion, by the way. And because the Moon card is about, it's not only about being in the unknown, it's about being in our past. We all have within us stories of the good that happened, the bad that happened, and sometimes it's a process card. So there's a little bit of residue and there's a little bit of energy here that maybe just needs a little bit of your time and attention. When you get to the stage that the Five of Cups is not a bad card, but it's just something that you need to spend time with, you really are evolving into the ego stage of Scorpio, because Scorpio represents, that the Tantra, the idea of the good things in life, but also the difficult things of life, and both of them are equally valid. So there seems to be a little bit of emotional residue here that needs to be worked through. Or maybe because the wheel is the gift, you're not in charge of when this and when this happens. So we automatically fall into, oh, it's never going to happen, or we fall into that feeling of emptiness. When in fact, really, what really needs to happen is you need to give some attention to yourself. But this Queen of Cups and this Page of Cups is looking, first of all, at the King of Wands, okay? Can be fire sign. And the King of Wands is definitely looking right back at the Queen of Cups, I tell you. But there's a bit of funny old energy between the two of you, isn't there? You've got the Ace, but then you've got the 5. This is probably the story of how it's not worked out in the past. Or the King of Wands might be a little bit of a withholder, by the way. Give me a card to clarify the King of Wands. No, he's coming across as a Knight of Cups, so he ain't going to be withholding by the end of May. You then get the King of Cups behind there, so maybe that's what the issue is, because the King of Cups, in his, if he was a challenge, the King of Cups, his challenge was he only dips his toe in. So the King of Wands, this very passionate, very emotional person, but only dips his toe in. Doesn't reveal that much of himself, but boy, is there a lot of feelings going on here, but not that much revealing of them, which is probably why you're in the 5 of Cups. I'm one of these people who don't mind the 5 of Cups, because when I'm in the 5 of Cups, all the 5s, the biggest changing cards in the tarot are all the 5s. The aces are pretty fantastic, by the way. The Tower and some of the Knights and some of the Queens. But the 5s change things. But they change things in a way that we don't always like being in them, but boy, do we like the outcome of them. But you know, we all want an omelette without breaking eggs. That's a little bit of part of being human. When really, we really need to learn to dig into those parts of us that sometimes feel sad, sometimes feel that energy of the Moon and the 5 of Cups, but then we learn to be at peace there, and basically we learn to be at peace, and life takes on this fantastic flavour. It takes on the flavour of the Fool then, because then you're free. Then you're free. That's it. You're free then. And then you got the Ace of Pentacles. So this could be a new job. It could be a new job, some sort of new, something new. What is the new thing that's happening for Scorpio, please? Could be a new business. It's a new era. All the aces are new era. You obviously need all the right conditions. You got two aces, but the Page starts to build on the Ace. So for example, if this was a job opportunity, this would be the application, or this would be the offer of the job, because it progresses it. So some of you are going through a brand new job. I think the intrigue is what I love what's going on in your relationship, actually. Maybe you don't, you probably don't, by the way. But as a sort of tarot reader, what's going on here? Give me another card for the relationship dynamics. Yeah. Beautiful. Knight of Pentacles is probably what's going to put you in the 5 of Cups, okay? The Knight of Pentacles moves forward. This is on relationships, by the way. Although there might be a theme of some of you leaving someone to go and pursue a financial chapter, a new job there. So that can be what's creating the 5 of Cups. Like, I need to go off and look at something for a while. I'll see you in a few months. Or this Knight is so slow moving that that's why you're in the 5 of Cups, because you're falling under the illusion of this isn't happening, this person doesn't love me. Absolute nonsense, I promise. I promise you they do. But I think, Scorpio, part of your... yeah, I think some of you might be going to open a new chapter somewhere. Because the Eight of Cups is the questing card. And the Knight of Pentacles might be some of you's following an opportunity elsewhere. But you're going to be missing these 3 cups that I've spelt. If not, in an existing relationship, there's so much work that you've forgotten about the joy. You've forgotten to be free together and light and joyful. And don't forget it for too long. Because when you forget it for too long, the ground becomes really barren, and it can be harder to get back from there. So you might be the one that needs to step forward and offer your cup. Yeah? Okay, Scorpio, very interesting. I will do your relationship readings next week. I'm hoping to, if it's possible. I'm planning to do relationship readings. But loads of love. Bye.